area of like videos and software-based art.
Great, great.
Yeah.
Thank you. Brent, can you chime in with your interest in 3D graphics and all the things you've been doing with Build It Yourself over many years?
All right, so I've been working with Build It Yourself on again, off again since I was in high school. I met John when he was teaching a workshop at my high school. Started working with him that summer, and then started working with him again a few years later. So my passions and hobbies, like pretty much anything creative. I love 3D graphics, creating like interactive 3D worlds and stuff, and I also enjoy web design.
Yeah. So Brent is modest. Brent is a really great 3D graphic artist and knows Blender as well as anyone on the planet, 3D Blender. And he's a phenomenal web designer. Does it as a profession, has his own web design company. I see that Shmarika just joined. I guess Shmarika joined and then tuned out. Okay. So hopefully there will be, there's 6 new interns that we're training. And just until they join, I'll give you a little bit of background on. So that it's a really interesting group. They're from Mexico, England, Bulgaria, and the U.S. They're all in high school, and they all seem very bright, either experienced in graphic design, have a passion for graphic design or technology. So I'm looking forward to working with these interns, and I'm hoping that you can help us teach them some of your skills, computer programming skills and web design skills and graphic design skills. So generally, how we introduce new interns to our development team is we ask them to make a personal website. We ask them to use PowerPoint very, very aggressively to plan their ideas. We use PowerPoint instead of a pad of paper or notepad because, first of all, it's a powerful drawing tool. If you know PowerPoint, you can learn Illustrator very easily. So PowerPoint is kind of like our paper and pencil. And then thirdly, we ask new interns, they have to know HTML, they have to know PowerPoint very, very well, especially the drawing features of PowerPoint, and they should know Scratch, a programming language developed at MIT. So those are the first 3 projects, and then once they get competent at Scratch, HTML, and PowerPoint, then we invite them to join specific projects working with our developers. So that's the big picture of our intern program. Hi, Alexia. Good morning.
Hi, John.
Great. Wow, I'm embarrassed here because we don't have any interns joining yet. I know that one was trying. This morning, 2 were trying, but they're not. I wonder if they're having trouble. You guys had no trouble getting in, right?
No.
Huh. Okay.
The first time I signed in my WebEx froze, I think that was on my end. The program froze, and I just reconnected and it worked fine.
Okay, here's Marika. Let's see if she gets connect her microphone. Hi. Oh, there we go, Shmarika. Great. Success.
Hi.
Good morning. You're the first intern here. All the rest of us are on the development team. So,
Okay.
but I'm sure that, or I'm hopeful that others will join in. We'll see. Just in the interest of introducing everyone, here comes Dana too. So Dana gets in. Hi, Dana. Good morning.
Morning. John, I think I lost my lab book. I can't find it anywhere on my computer.
That's all right. Well, we can start over again. We haven't done too much. No problem.
So what about the first part after this part?
Yeah, we'll go over it again, Dana, because Mayuri is just new to, and she'll have to be doing the same thing. So you can recreate it with Mayuri.
Okay.
Excuse me, with Mayuri and Marika. So, sorry for the double introductions, guys, but in the interest of getting to know everyone on the team, Alexia, can you chime in with your favorite things to do, where you're studying, what you're studying, heroes, favorite joke, anything to share with the team?
Okay. So my name is Alexia. I am currently a third-year student at MIT. I'm studying mechanical engineering, and I'm from Texas. I also like singing and playing piano, just music overall, really. And
Alexia sings for the a cappella last year sang for an a cappella group at MIT. So she's modest.
But yeah, right now I'm doing concert choir, so a lot of fun. And
Great.
the thing I like most about being a mechanical engineer is building. A lot of fun.
Good. Passion for building. Let me just introduce Yin, Yu, and Mayuri real quickly. Mayuri is a freshman at MIT who wants to major in computer science. And Yin and Yu are studying at the Museum of Fine Arts in Boston, and they're interested in animation, illustration, and they're helping us develop our a PowerPoint that describes what Build It Yourself really is. It's a really playful, great animated PowerPoint that they've developed. One of these webcasts will show it to you. Dana, do you like to introduce yourself? What your hobbies are, where you're from, and so forth?
Oh, yes. So I'm Dana, and I go to Airfield Regional Middle School. I like to program, build with like Legos for robots, Lego robots, and make stuff in Blender 3D. And
Great.
some of my hobbies are playing games, video games, and yeah.
Cool. And Dana lives in Maine, right? Yarmouth?
Massachusetts.
Oh, I'm sorry. Right, Massachusetts. Sorry, keep mixing that up. Shmarika, you'd like to share your favorite projects, what you're interested in?
Well, I'm not really sure at this point, but
I know you like to draw.
yeah, I
do draw.
And have won some awards for your artwork, no?
Yeah, last year I got chosen as one of the kids in my school to have their artwork in the Harvard Art Gallery. And then and then this year
So my artwork got chosen and put in the Cambridge Public School Superintendent's office. So.
Great, congratulations! Wow.
Thank you.
Well, there are two very good artists sitting in on this webcast. I think you would really love the work that they're doing for Build It Yourself. Okay, great. So moving along real quickly, I assume we don't have any show and tells here because others who were here 2 weeks ago are not in this week's app. So we'll skip the second item on the agenda. Brent, it's been probably quite a while since you've seen this PowerPoint, but maybe you could help me explain. We want to talk a little bit about how the web works. So generally, you're going to be a better programmer, a better designer, if you understand how the hardware works. So I'm going to share my desktop and just show you a little bit about Web Design Lab. But actually, let me take you back a few steps and talk about how this lab book works. So we're all going to create a lab book first, a PowerPoint lab book, where we're going to document tricks that we'll be presenting, tools we'll be presenting, and also where you're going to document your ideas for various projects. So this is my lab book, and one of the first things we want to do is document goals, and then in the process of building a website, you might like to do some research on your favorite websites that you can learn from or that you can pick ideas from. This is a plan for how we guide people to design their own personal websites. These are a list of tools that we use. You'll have access to this PowerPoint, so don't worry, don't need to read the details. Just trying to give you an overview of how a typical PowerPoint build-it-yourself lab book would look. Okay, so getting into how the internet works. If you understand how the internet works, you're likely to be a better internet programmer. So, Brent, do you like to chime in a little bit here, or anyone who understands, feel free to just chime in on what's happening here?
All right, so basically, you are the client. When you type in a website name, that's the domain name. The domain name goes to a domain name server, where basically that server has an IP address, like a numeric number that represents a server somewhere else. So you request a website, it goes to your local internet service provider like Comcast, that goes to a name server, and then that will complete the request. It will go to the website that you want, the server you want, and then it comes back kind of.
Let me chime in here, Brent, just a second. So what's interesting here is that humans really understand text, letters, better than they understand the numbers. Computers are the opposite. They understand numbers a whole lot better than they understand text, a whole lot quicker. So that's why the internet is designed to give humans text display, and as quickly as possible, the internet tries to convert that text, or doesn't try, it actually converts that text to numbers, which can be processed much quicker over the internet. Okay, go ahead, Brent. So once the internet, your local internet service provider gets an IP address, a number, generally a 8-digit number, I think it is. Go ahead, Brent. From there.
All right. From here, bear with me because it might get a little blurred, but the routers and switches part, I believe that since servers are all over the world and sometimes there's multiple servers in different locations, what happens next is it tries and finds the quickest path. Is that right, Don?
Exactly. It works very much like your telephone system. So to get from Boston to New York, the internet may say there's a lot of traffic between Boston and New York. I'm going to route you all the way to Shanghai, China. Before that's the path of least traffic. So the routers and switches are a very complicated network that looks for the path of least resistance that will get you there quickest.
And then after that, you get the website, and it puts it back to your internet provider, and thus back to the client.
Okay, so once the routers and switchers send your IP domain, your domain name converted to an IP address to the web server, that is the server where the website is located, then it fetches the HTML code from that web host, and it sends it back via a series of routers and switches to your local ISP, and your ISP sends the HTML code to your client, and then the browser at your client interprets that HTML and converts it to a website picture. That all kind of makes sense, guys? Just a quick top view of how the internet works. It's really an amazing system.
Yeah.
Okay, great. What's really amazing about this to me is that it takes less time to send and receive HTML, send a request for an HTML web page that happens to be located in Shanghai, China, where Yin and you are from, and get back to Boston. Takes less than a second, less than half a second for that transmission to happen typically. Sometimes, of course, it can take longer if the traffic's heavy, or if the web page is really long. If you have a long web page with lots of pictures, that could take a little bit more time. Okay, so just a quick overview on how the website works. It would be great if sometime in the future you're in a position to help us teach website design. We would just like you to be able to explain this series of diagrams, how the internet works. Okay? So, moving right along, let me go back and let me call up another PowerPoint and hand the ball off to, or actually, Alexia, if you could run through this, maybe Brent, you can chime in with Alexia or take turns presenting slides. This is a slide show that we present to every, in almost every workshop we do. And it relates to the importance of presenting your ideas. Okay, Alexia, you're up.
Okay. So, first of all, I have a question for you guys.
Sure.
If you have these two bags right here, and I tell you that they both have the same amount of candy, which one would you pick?
Not only do they have the same amount of candy, it's the exact same kind of candy, and both bags cost exactly the same amount. So the question is, Dana or Smirka, which one would you choose and why?
The one on the left, because it's prettier.
Okay. That's the answer most people would give. But doesn't necessarily have to be true. You could say, well, maybe the people who made the candy on the right, maybe they spent more time making their candy and less time putting a wrapper around it. You know, both answers are reasonable. What we're trying to do here is get you to think about the psychology and the importance of presenting your ideas. Okay, moving to the next slide.
So this is another similar problem. And if you see two lemonade stands right next to each other, and they have the same amount of, the same people made the lemonade, which stand would you want to buy from?
I'd say the one on the right, because they probably put a little bit more effort into making that one named the Standard. It looks like yellow kind of like.
Yeah, I see the one on the right too. Mainly because I can barely read the one on the left. So
that's a good point. If you can't read it, you don't know what it is. Good point, Smirka. And Dana, I liked your point also, because you could argue if they spent time making a nice sign, maybe they took the same time and care to clean their glasses. You know, what we're trying to get at here is thinking about the psychology of presenting your ideas. Okay? Two more examples.
So if you were at the library and studied 2 books and they told you that they have the exact same tricks, which one would you pick?
The problem here is that generally we're taught not to judge a book by its cover, you know, which is true. But imagine that you're going to a library and your parents have driven you there and they're illegally parked, and they only have a minute to choose a book. So it's not like you can look through the book and really tell which book is good. You have a minute to choose and you see these 2 books on the shelf. The question is, which book would you choose? And you know, I can answer this for you quickly, and that is, you know, most people almost surely would choose the book on the right. Let's move on to one more example that's a little bit different take. Brent, do you like to explain sort of the background here?
Yeah. Okay, so picture on the street you live on. At the corner, there's going to be a stop sign. On the street that intersects with that, drivers go at like 60 miles an hour. Now, you want to make sure you can go from your street across the street to the other side. Which
Without
sign
getting
do you
squished.
Without getting squished, definitely. Which sign do you think would do a better job at telling people to stop, and why?
definitely the one on the right, just because green usually is the symbol for go. So, and it takes a long time to read. It's not very concise. So.
What if you don't know what prohibited means?
Yeah, and
what if you go to school but you still got your driver's license somehow and stop that and motion is prohibited here? What if that means like you're allowed to move?
Yeah, and then stop is in capital letters, and it's like in white. It's white text on red, so you can really easily see it.
Okay, you guys get the point. You're making excellent points. So the conclusion of all of this is that when you present your ideas, it's often very helpful to make sure your ideas are clear, your ideas are presented concisely, and they're convincing. They make the audience do something. So Yin and you, studying graphic design for so many years, any comments to add to this general presentation on presenting your ideas? Is this the way they would teach it to you at the museum school, the importance of presenting your ideas?
Yeah, I think it's very clear, and we just need to add some graphic and animation on it.
We could add some animation to it. Good suggestion. Okay, to make this PowerPoint more memorable. Yeah. Great. Okay, so Smirika and Dana, what if you or actually, Alexia, what if you show Smirika and Dana how you would create this PowerPoint? Let's just go through these slides really quickly, and then we'll introduce the drawing tools that we'll be using not only to make this slide in your lab book, but also to make many drawings that will ultimately go in your lab book. Okay. So go ahead, Alexia.
So these squares right here are very similar to the way you present your idea. If an ugly, inconsistent, and out of bounds idea looks like this, the line is it scribbles and it doesn't fill the square completely. It's very inconsistent.
It's not what your boss is telling you to do. Great. Okay.
Right. Mm-hmm.
You get fired for that.
There's also the average idea, which is boring. The color is just gray. It's nothing exciting. And sure, you know, the color is inside, but it's not enough. Anybody can do that.
Anyone in the world can do average.
Mm-hmm.
It's just what your boss tells you to do and nothing more. You follow the instructions like a cookbook. You're like a robot.
Right. Mm-hmm.
If you don't cut this box down, you're fired.
Right on, Dana.
And then the third way to do it is your own way. You got to overachieve. You got to make it way cool.
Yeah,
The colors are really cool. There's a gradient, and we made it look like it's in 3D, and the color is inside the line. So in other words, it's what your boss told you to do, but you even went the extra mile and made it better.
Great. Thank you, Alexia. All right. So I'm going to stop sharing my desktop, and Alexia, maybe you can open up PowerPoint in your on your computer and just go through the process of using the different drawing tools. Dana and Smirka, do you know PowerPoint? Have you used, Dana, I know you have because you've been in many of our workshops, so you know how to do this. Smirka, do you know how to use the scribble tool, the curved line tools, gradation tools in PowerPoint?
I think so.
Okay.
It's been a while.
Okay. All right. So let's just go through it, Alexia, just for the benefit of others who are sitting in. Let's see. I got to pass you the ball here. Where are you? Okay, there you are. Okay. You should have the ball now, Alexia. Great.
Now I see it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So first, what we want is the shapes tool. Actually, let's make a title first. So let's find word art. We're going to type in presenting your ideas. You want to put that in the top. And you got to remember what we just said about the right way to present ideas. So we can go ahead and modify our text to fit that. And if you right click, you can go to Format Shape. And here you can change all the colors. You can have just solid fill or, oops. Oh no. Format text. Okay, so we go to Format Text instead of Format Shape, and on Text Fill, we can change the colors of the text. In our case, it would be good to do a gradient, any kind of gradient on here, because it really gives it that extra fun look. You can pick 2 colors.
You can tell a lot about a person by the colors they choose. Is that not true, Yin and you? There's a psychology behind colors that people like and what their personality is like. I don't want to put any pressure on you. Alexia. Okay, great. So you guys get the idea.
Yeah.
And then, okay, we're going to make 4 squares. We're going to use a rectangle, square.
Alexia, may I make a suggestion here? When you're using, go ahead and do it. Generally, I like to use the arrow keys rather than the mouse whenever possible, because if you use the arrow keys, you are able to register your graphics more than if you use the mouse where you have to eyeball things. So here, let's turn this rectangle to pure white first of all. Right click on it, format shape, choose the color of just white or no color. No fill is good. Yep. Good. Okay, then Control C for copy, and then Control V for paste. Whoops, I think you typed that a little too quickly. Type it a little slower because it got into your text. Control C and then Control V. Good. And now with your arrow keys, move that down. Sometimes you can eyeball it, but generally with your arrow keys, you get it registered well. It's so slow here, but you can move it down if it's slow. But generally, when you're using your arrow keys, you can register more accurately. Okay, and then the third rectangle, copy and paste.
The PowerPoint that I have, it actually shows, if you see those lines.
That's right. It has the
lines it up.
Yeah, the updated the latest versions give you those registration guidelines, which is really helpful.
Yeah, that helps a lot.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
So we're gonna use the text box. And we're gonna type right next to it. It's ugly. It is inconsistent. What other characteristics are there?
Yeah. So they can get that. Let's just show them, Alexia, the scribble tool and then the gradient tool.
Okay.
Then we'll, Smirka and Dana, on your own time, you can create the cover for your lab book and document this slide.
So for the first one, we're going to use the scribble tool, and this is found in the shapes and in the line and connector. And I believe it's this one, the last one, the scribble. We're going to click it and try to color that in.
Really ugly. Dramatize. Great. All right. There we are. That's ugly. No question about it. Okay. Now, one of the interesting things about the scribble tool, we really discourage you from using the scribble tool. And the reason for that is it's very hard to edit. Great.
You click edit point. You can edit the shape, but it's very difficult to pick a point that'll fix the shape.
Right. Just as a point of reference, Alexia, could you show what happens when you use the curved line spline tool?
So instead we were to use this curve tool, you get to pick the point.
And it makes it look a lot nicer than the scribble tool.
And now if we do edit points on this.
Right click to get the modifiers. Then there's just a few points, and it's really easy to edit something like this, whereas it's very difficult to edit the scribble tool. The natural reaction is to use the scribble tool. We encourage you to stay away from the scribble tool. Okay, and then fill in the second rectangle.
So
right
the
click.
second one, right click, format shape. And this time, we're going to do a smarter thing, and we're going to fill it in with the fill tool. But this, however, is not a very good idea. It's average. Click OK. And there it is. It's plain. It looks 3D, boring color. If we go to the third one and we try to make that one better, we do the same thing, go to Format Shape. This time, instead of doing a solid color, we're going to do a gradient. Pick your own style. I'll do this. Pick some colors.
Beautiful. Ooh. All right. So you guys get the idea, Smrika and Dana, no?
Yeah.
Yeah, I get it.
It would be nice to start your lab book and create on the cover of your lab book word art that says lab book, a text box that says your first name, and then we're going to guide you through the process of building an avatar, an animated avatar. So let me show you how. Great. Thanks, Alexia. Let me grab the ball back, Alexia. And okay, so just refreshing your memory. You can do this after the webcast so we can move on. And so here's a lab book cover. You know, I would reverse it, just say lab book in word art and then your first name, and then you can make an avatar. We're going to teach you how to draw a cartoon avatar, which you can use on your lab book cover and also on your web page cover. Okay, any questions so far? Mayuri and and Yin and Yu, we love to hear your comments if you have suggestions on how we can make this better. Ultimately, Dana and Smrika, you guys as interns, we want to put you in a position to be able to teach other students, younger students, these exact PowerPoint lessons. So part of the goals as an intern is to be on our workshop leader team. Another goal as an intern is to be on our development team. So this is all sort of part and parcel of preparing you to do that. Okay. Brent, would you like to present the cartoon PowerPoint to Smrika? Before we do that, I'm going to just show you my personal website. Are you seeing my screen now?
No, I'm not.
No.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. Whoa, hold on a second. Let me back off here. Share my desktop. Okay, so there's a lab book cover, and that could be your first page, and then the second page is presenting your ideas, and then we'll work on developing an animated avatar that you could use on your personal website. Let me just show you what my personal website looks like.
John, I have a question.
Yes, Dana.
So I made a website, but the problem was the web host I'm using for some reason had trouble with uploading the pictures. So do you have any recommended web hosts?
Oh, yes, we do. Dana, I'll send you a link to the with all the password information you need to load your website onto our web server.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, I'll do that. Okay.
Like 2002 email, not the senior fancy one. The other one's a mom.
So here's the cover of my the first page, the home page of my personal website. So over the next few weeks, in fact, next week Brent is going to guide you through starting to code a website that looks like this. Brent and Alexia. And what we want to do first is get you in a position to make an animated avatar. And this is an animated GIF that I made all in PowerPoint, and then I took the frames that I created in PowerPoint, uploaded them to an online GIF maker, and then now I have a GIF that I can put at the bottom of my emails or on a website or in a PowerPoint. Okay, so Brent, let me see if I can get to the cartooning website here. Brent, do you like to go through this PowerPoint?
Is that one? I don't know buildingyourself.com/lessons. Is that one the vector graphics or PowerPoint drawing?
Oh, I have it on the screen right now on the whiteboard.
Okay.
I'll just flip the slides. You can talk about them.
All right. So basically, whenever you draw anything, just the same way like presenting ideas, there's always going to be like an ugly way, average way, and way cool way. When it comes down to the drawing tool, you can do something really average, like to the eyes, like you see right here. You can make a circle. You can call that, your eyes, but it's not very expressive. It's not really, it doesn't tell anything about the character. The one on the left is way cool. It has gradient. There's 3 circles overlapping. And as you can see, like you can see the soul of the character. That guy's probably goofy. His eyes are crossed. If he wasn't goofy, the rest of the scene is probably something really close to his face. The one on the right, very basic.
It's the case that when you look at really famous pictures, photographs of animals, you'll notice very often that the photographer has focused on the eyes. The soul of the character, the soul of the animal or the human is in your eyes. So they tend to try to make the eyes as focused as possible, even at the expense of defocusing the body. Sometimes when you look at famous paintings, I understand that the Mona Lisa, for example, the eyes in the Mona Lisa are a little bit bigger than they would normally be in real life, and that's because Da Vinci wanted to capture the spirit of the Mona Lisa and needed as much space as possible to draw the eyes. Have you heard that story, Yin, and you, in your studies of art, that many famous portraits, the eyes are actually drawn a little bit bigger than they are in real life, because that's where the artist has the most opportunity to express the soul of their character?
Yeah.
Okay, great. So the message here is focus on your eyes. Draw the eyes maybe even first to try to get the spirit of the character. Okay, Brent, sorry to interrupt. Go ahead.
Well, it's okay. Sorry. So in regards to PowerPoint or any drawing tool really, but with PowerPoint it's a vector. With like Paint or something, you can't do layers really. Layering stuff can help you create the image of the character. So as you can see, the one on the right, very average. They just put a circle behind the eyes. Almost looks like it's an advertisement for Walmart. If you look at the one on the left, this one is beginning to really pop. So there's a shape in the back for a head. The eyes are kind of popping off to give it like a goofy feel. Then there's a larger one that, I mean, it almost implies the shape of a mouth and the circle for the nose. And as you can see, that nose, it looks really cool, but it's really just 3 circles. It's an oval, or it's a smaller oval that's a darker color. That gives the illusion of nostrils. And then there's another one on the top. So you can just keep adding different layers. But throughout this whole process, the one on the left, the way cool one, compare the mouth to the one on the right. One is clearly better, in my opinion, unless you're going for a retro game.
Right.
Very few times the one on the right is cool.
And it's also the case that we want to try to think in the 3D world as much as possible. What happens if you look at the smiley face from the side view, what you see is a straight line. Whereas if you look at the other image from the side view, you see a more structured shape. Okay, great. So moving along, here's examples of different cartoons, all made from either ellipses or using the curved line spline tool to make shapes. So just examples of cartoons made by just layering shapes. And what we'd like you to do, Smirika and Dana, is create an avatar. It could be an animal or a cartoon that you'd like to put at the signature of your emails or put as a key page in your website. Okay, so what if we spend the last 10 minutes of the class, Dana and Smirika, open up PowerPoint and just go through the process of trying to create shapes like this. Dana, I know you've done this before, so you'll probably do it quickly. Smirika, what if we pass you the ball and then we can help you, we can help guide you through, we'll pass you the ball and then you can share your desktop and we can help you, through the menus. So you have the ball now, Smirika. In order to share your desktop, excuse me, at the very top left corner, you'll see File, Edit, Share.
Yeah.
Click on Share. There's a drop-down menu, Share Your Desktop.
That one?
Not quite yet. Share Your Desktop. You see, yep, there we go. Great. Okay. Then open up PowerPoint. Do you have PowerPoint on your computer?
I don't think so. Yeah.
Oh, okay. It would be under Microsoft Office. Do you use Word? Let's see. Let's look under Microsoft.
Microsoft Office, I see it. It's toward the bottom. The third to last folder, right there.
Great. Thank you, Dana. That's teamwork.
Teamwork.
Woo!
All right. Way to go, Dana. You got that before we saw it. Okay. So go ahead, Dana. You're either welcome to join in here, but I know you've done similar things. So first thing we'd suggest is that when you open up PowerPoint, Smirika, what PowerPoint does, it tries to force you into a template. It tries to force you to put your titles in a certain place. We want to do it. We want to do it the stud way, the professional way. So we want to start with our own layout. So we're going to create a blank layout. If you right-click on the background, you can get rid of all the formatting. Right-click, and then go to Layout, and then click Blank Slide. Yep, blank. Great. Okay, so now you have a complete blank slide. You're never bothered with PowerPoint trying to tell you what to do. Okay, Brent, do you like to, or Alexia, just chime in?
Sure. Right above your mouse, you'll see like a bunch of different shapes and lines. In there, the ones on the bottom left, you have the scribble, an arc tool, and a curve tool. The curve tool is probably the most useful. Yeah, that one. So I'd say click that. And if we were gonna draw something, if you left click somewhere, that makes a point. So left click and then move your cursor away from it. You see how it's beginning to make a line?
Mm-hmm.
The next place you click will be an anchor point where the line will bend. So just for an example's sake, left click there, and then move your mouse again. You see how it curves around that point?
Yeah.
So this allows you to create really complicated organic looking shapes. If you make a mistake, like just click somewhere random that you don't want to click. Yeah, so say you're like, oh no, you can hit backspace on the keyboard and that will undo that last point. So as you're making it, you're never really stuck, you can always undo. And the same way John showed the edited points, you can always right-click and edit a point later. As you make a shape, you want to close it when you begin, just so it's like a closed loop, because it fills in the best that way. So, yeah, like it, exactly.
Double click to
and
end. Double click to end. Okay. So you didn't fill in because you probably didn't get right on the end, but you can. It's close enough now that the computer will fill this in. What I'd recommend doing is, let's start with the eyes first, and then we'll draw ahead. So we can delete that shape. Go to the ellipse. Let's go to the ellipse. Yep. And draw a big circle. We can always shrink it later. Okay, good. Yep, we're going to make an eyeball here. So then right click on this circle and make it light blue or white.
Format shape.
Yeah, very good, Dana.
And then you can choose gradient or solid. So
yeah, exactly.
pick one, and then.
Wow, Dana, you should be teaching this class.
Well, I've been using PowerPoint a lot because in third grade we did a class on it, like our school, so it's pretty cool. And then
Fantastic.
that's like blue.
Great. Go ahead, Dana. So the next step is, well, we can just close this. You'll get it. Great. And let's take another circle and make the pupil, a dark pupil. So grab another circle and make a small. Yep. That's okay. And then let's take another circle. Make that pupil a little bit bigger, because when we shrink the eyeball, that will be so small we won't be able to see it. Okay, good. Now let's take another circle and make a highlight. Another circle and make a highlight in the dark space. Inside the dark space, a tiny circle. Yep, just like that. And let's color that one white. Right-click on it. Great, you've got a good memory. I would make that white, not, yeah, because if you make it no fill, it'll go right to the background color.
All right.
Okay.
So, John?
Can you explain the concept of grouping? That's perfect. Grouping and copying. Can you guide Marika through? Let's group this eyeball, make it a little bit smaller, and then copy it to make two eyeballs.
All right. So what you want to do is you want to format. Now right-click inside of the three boxes, and now there should be.
You have to right on one of the shapes, not in the white space.
So then click on group, like roll over the arrow, and then click group. Now this is all one shape now, so you can still modify the shapes even though they're grouped, but now it's like if you click on one, it selects it all. So it can be really useful for when you're copying and pasting the eyes. So yeah.
Perfect, Dana. You explained this beautifully.
Thanks.
Okay.
Hi, John.
Oh, hi, Neil. Welcome.
Yeah, sorry I'm late. It's just that we were having lunch late, so.
Oh, no problem. No problem. Glad you could join. You know how to do this, so we'll show you the. We can point you to the archive if you want to listen to what we did. Okay, so Dana, can you copy and show? So Control C, Marika, and then Control V, and then put.
Click on the point on the right side, and then drag it over, and then it'll flip the object the other way.
Wait, which one?
That right there. Just drag that over to the right. Drag that circle, or drag it to the other way, to the right.
Keep dragging, keep dragging. There we go. So now it's a flipped version of the eye.
Okay. Great. Now, what if we draw a pear-headed shape? A pear-headed shape using the curved line tool.
Pairs are good.
Yeah.
So, John, is this just the avatar again?
Exactly. Did you make an avatar, Neil?
Yeah, I finished it.
Oh, good. Well, as soon as Marika finishes this, we'll pass the ball to you so you can show us your avatar, all right?
Okay.
So you're pretty lucky I lost mine.
Okay, well, next week, make one again, Dana, and
Yeah, I'll make one after this web conference.
okay, great. Perfect. All right, Smarika. Now, the last thing we're going to do before we pass the ball to Neil, bring to the back, right? You got it. How did you know this?
I kind of like messed around with this. Oh, what's the other one?
You gotta send it backwards one more time. There.
Okay, cool.
Dana. Okay, so the next thing once you make, complete your head with the hair and the ears and the nose and the mouth, then you want to animate it. So let's just show you how you could animate this real quick, and then you can go in and fill in the details on your own time, Smarika.
Okay.
So on the left-hand panel, where you see a small icon of your face, okay, right-click to the left, right-click on the first slide, and duplicate it. Right-click there, yeah. Yeah, and copy it, duplicate slide, good. Okay, now on this slide, just make both eyes so they're squinting, so it's like winking. Or maybe just make one eye, grab the top rectangle and make it look like it's almost a line. Yep, there you go, just like that. Okay, so now we've got two faces that could be part of your animated cartoon. The other thing we could do is rotate everything a little bit. So let's put a box around your whole head. Yeah. And then just take the green circle at the very top and rotate that just a hair. Just a hair. Well, not too much. Okay.
Oh.
Oh, you have to group it. I think you have to group it. Sorry. Let's bring it back to the beginning. Okay. And then right-click on it, group it, and then rotate it. Group, and then rotate. And just there, just a hair. Okay, good. Now, if you, on the right hand, or actually if you do the up arrow and the down arrow, you should be able to go from slide 1 to slide 2, and you should see your animation. There you go. Okay? But we're going to, in the next class, we're going to teach you how to, we're going to show you a tool that will allow you to export these slides to JPEGs and animate them as part of an avatar. Okay. So, Neil, would you like to just introduce yourself, where you're from, favorite things to do? And in the meantime, I'll pass you the ball so you can show us your animated avatar.
Okay. Hi, I'm Neil. I'm from England, which is down in the other side of the world from America. And I am playing some games. I also make a couple of websites and so on and so forth. And without further ado, I'll just
Great. Neil has been a Build It Yourself member for quite a few years.
1 year.
1 year, and now we invited Neil to be an intern. All righty, Neil. Fantastic. Cool. Okay. So this is great, Neil. So the plan for next week, guys, is to update your PowerPoint lab book. So you have a cover page, and then if you like to add a page on the ugly way to present your ideas, the average and way cool way, and then create an animated avatar. And next week we'll show you how to convert your PowerPoint frames into an animated GIF. And actually, Brent will be leading you through that because and Brent and Alexia will be leading you through that because I won't be in the webcast next week.
Okay.
John, what should I do? Because I'm also not going to be here, so
Oh, okay. No problem. You're way ahead of everyone, so it'll give others a chance to catch up.
So should
Thanks
we
for.
basically do the presenting your ideas and then the avatar and that should
Yep,
be it?
I'll send an email to all of you with the suggestions for work you can do if you have time during the week to present next week. So you'll be in a position to work with Alexia and Brent on putting your avatar on a home page, on an HTML website page.
All right. Well, since I already know how to do that, so I could do that too.
You already know how to do that because I know you've taken that course. Okay, great, Dana.
All right.
All right. So thanks for joining. Mayuri and Yin and you, if you have some time, just 5 minutes or so, and Alexia to stay on, I'd just like to talk a little bit about next week's webcast and a few other things. In the meantime, Neil, Smrika, and Dana, I'll send you an email with an example of a PowerPoint lab book and a link to this webcast in case you want to refer to it.
Okay, John, just wondering, is this course going to be anything like the one that I had at the start of the last year?
Well, the first part of it will be, Neil, building your personal website, except for Brent and Alexia are going to teach you a much more sophisticated way to write your HTML code. So when we presented HTML to you, we didn't really cover CSS.
Oh, yeah, I've done that, John. I made that website.
Okay. So we're going to embed CSS in your web design much more aggressively than we did before.
Okay.
So you'll learn some CSS tricks beyond what we did in previous webcasts.
You mean like containers and stuff?
Sorry, Dana?
Is CSS a programming language? So
I'm sorry, I still didn't hear. Say once more.
is CSS like a programming language?
Oh, Brent, could you explain what CSS is?
It's a styling way.
Yes.
Oh, cool.
Go ahead, Brent. Explain the benefits of using CSS.
So basically, like a long time ago, people used to put style directly into their website. So like probably in the summer camps, you saw how we do like, font size equals 3, font color equals red, etc. CSS is a style sheet. It's separate from the HTML document. All of those different things like font size equals this, something is bold, etc. All that stuff is embedded inside the style sheet with even more advanced things than what we've probably done in the workshops. And you can apply the style to different elements. So say there's 10 parts of the page that should have the same font color. Rather than, inputting all that text again, you can put, class equals red. And the benefit of this is the bandwidth of websites. So if you have a style sheet, your websites become a lot smaller in size, so they load faster, and they're just better in general. Secondly, they're global. So if you have 20 pages and you put font color equals red in all those pages in 10 different places, so 10 pages with 10 places is 100 different lines of code you'll have to change. With a style sheet, you just change it once in the style sheet, and now every page changes because they all use the same style sheet. So that's kind of like a overview and the benefit.
I can see how that helps you.
Yeah.
Style sheet was very useful.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you, Brent.
You're welcome.
All right, Smrika and Neil and Dana, hope to see you guys next week.
Just a last question, Brent. What would you do like bootstrap kind of stuff? Where you're using the style sheet of that, so you're like editing it anyway.
Can you say that one more time? Did you say if we're using Bootstrap?
Yeah, bootstrap or stuff like that.
When we first introduced this, we really don't use any like pre-existing framework. We kind of I think just from a two benefits. When you use a framework, if you want to modify it without knowing how framework or like the code is written to begin with, it's more difficult to modify. And
Oh, okay, because I've modified this one just my way so that it's like I'll just send you it via the WebEx chat. Like I made the website for that over a week, so I just did it so that.
I think
Wow.
he's beyond what we're gonna teach from what he just said. We'll have to do the PHP stuff.
Have you been using the framework your sister uses, Neil?
Yeah, it's kind of
Wow.
like I just like using it just because it looks really nice.
Wow. Okay, so you're Neil, you're going to be
There's a login and a register page.
Yeah, that was using the Ruby's device plugin.
wow. Okay, very impressive. Maybe you can show us a little bit, Neil, how that works in a future webcast.
Yeah, maybe.
Share what you've learned from your sister about Ruby on Rails.
Yeah.
Okay, very cool, Neil. I look forward to seeing that too. Did you? Okay, great.
I was also wondering what I should use Pelican, which I don't know if you've heard of. Like, just because it's more free. In a way, like you get to do more with it. There's more like a bootstrap page.
Yeah, it's a very powerful environment for building websites for sure.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Well, we'll keep going, Neil, if you're into that, and then maybe down the road you can share what you've learned.
Yeah, I haven't learned PHP though, so I might need to learn that. So.
Okay, yeah.
Impressive site. I like it.
Yeah, bye.
Bye, Neil. Bye,
Neil.
Marika.
All right, bye, guys.
Bye,
Okay.
Dana.
Yeah.
So just going around the horn just for 5 minutes. I always like to ask after a workshop what went well and what can we do better. So if would someone like to chime in with thoughts about what they like about this webcast and what do you think we can do better in the future? Anyone want to chime in first?
I will.
Go ahead, Brent.
All right, so I think the content was great. I think the overview, the agenda, and what we accomplished was great. I think one thing that could have been a little better was when we showed them the PowerPoint, we guided them to do what we wanted them to do versus explaining the tools completely. So I think, the gradient shops and things like that might have been useful for when they go out and do this on their own. They're making an avatar or something.
Yeah.
And then this isn't anything about this webcast, but I think Neil is going to be very bored if we're doing web design at the level we're doing it at the next few weeks.
Right.
So there might need to be something to keep him busy. He's using frameworks and
Yeah. Very good point. Very good point.
He's beyond what we're going to show.
Yeah. We have to find a way to engage interns who are way advanced than the rest. So that's a big challenge. One way to engage them is to ask them to help us teach the others. So even though they have to step back a little bit, they may have to step back a little bit. Generally, they enjoy showing off what they know. And also it's good practice because one of the goals for interns is to put them in a position to ultimately teach our webcast. Great suggestion, Brent.
I say we invite him in as a teacher or force out and the student next week.
Yeah.
Like an assistant or something.
Yeah. Great suggestions. Alexia, any thoughts on what went well? Did everyone get to participate? Just general thoughts?
No, well, I agree with Brett, and I think I really like that all of the kids in this webcast, they take part into it, like they talk a lot.
Yep,
And
and they
really
help each other.
that they're engaged.
Yeah, the fact that Dana helped Smirika, anytime you can get that interaction, that's a big success story.
Yeah, so I think that's we're doing good on that.
How about with respect to our preparation? I have a problem here, and that is that I didn't give you guys fair warning on what to present, so you had to kind of come into it cold. I mean, you guys have done this before, and you're real smart, so you can be spontaneous. But do you think it's okay to be spontaneous like this, or do we need to do a little bit more planning before we present to the kids?
I would rather do more planning.
Okay, yeah. Who's going to present what? And then, yeah, okay. Good point. Mayuri and Yin, given that you haven't seen webcasts like this too much, what's your take on the way we presented the content, the quality of the content, and the way it was presented? Mayuri, do you like to chime in first?
I really thought that when you guys helped them make the PowerPoint, that was really well done. I was surprised at how easy it was for Marika to follow it, considering she's never used PowerPoint before.
Yep.
And that was really nice. I wasn't really sure how well I was following how the website works. I mean, how the internet works in general. The first couple of slides.
That's too complicated. And maybe not all that useful. How the internet works, how the web works.
Yeah, I wasn't really sure, especially as in, okay, the speed thing was really interesting because it was just a really good comparison. But I definitely wasn't able to follow part of the first part of how the domain name server works.
Okay, great. Good. Thank you. Thank you. I've always wondered whether it's useful to present the hardware behind the web. In general, in engineering school, I'm quite sure you've heard this, Mayuri, many times, as in the computer science field. Programmers who really have a good feel for what the hardware is like are likely to be better programmers, and hardware designers who have a really good feel for coding are likely to design better hardware. So nowadays, computer science, the most advanced courses include both hardware and software, and you have to understand how to integrate the two so that they play well together. And that's the reason why we try to present that. But maybe we just didn't present it well enough.
Oh no, I thought it was really interesting. I just thought it was just really fast and a bit hard to follow.
Too fast. Okay. Thank you for that feedback. Yin and you, or any more comments, Mayuri?
No, it was really
okay.
Good.
Great. So ultimately, Mayuri, we're going to be asking you to teach courses like this. Yin and you?
Yeah.
Your feedback, what went well and what can we do better?
Actually, I know how internet works, and I also read some code, so it's easy for me to understand how it works. And but if I don't know, I think it's hard for me to, if it doesn't touch anything about the software or the web or the hardware.
Well, part of the reason that I asked you guys to sit in is so that you'd learn HTML.
Yeah.
So next week, Brent and Alexia will get into the HTML, and if you have an interest in learning HTML, you can benefit a lot from the way Alexia and Brent teach it. Mayuri, I know you had the same.
Oh yeah.
The same interest. So next week we'll start to get into that. Okay, guys. Thank you for joining. Billy Asaf is really lucky to have all of you on our team. And have a good week. See you next. Well, I won't be here next week, but I'll be in touch with you beforehand so you can do a little bit of planning. And Alexia and Brent, between the two of you, I hope you can sort of team teach next week.
Okay. Okay.
Great. All righty. How was your vacation, Alexia?
It was good. I got to go home.
Yeah.
Had some homework to do, but besides that, I got to relax. It was a nice break from a hard semester.
Good Mexican home cooking.
Oh yeah, a lot.
Great. Yuri, how was your MIT spring break?
Oh, it was great. I slept a lot, and I'm finally feeling a little bit.
You got to sleep a lot?
Yeah, I think
Good.
I slept more over the past week than I did in the past month.
Yeah, good. All right. Thanks for joining. See you next week.
Bye.
Bye. Hey, Brent, thank you.
You're welcome.
I'll try to coordinate with you a little bit better in the future before the webcast. And tomorrow, I'll see you here.
Well, I was actually going to come down tonight near the evening to meet up with Deanna just to go over the Lego stuff.
Yep, you're welcome to stay here or stay there. You know, I registered that Deanna offered a place there. It'd be great if you like to stay there, stay with them. Either way.
How far away does she live from Build It Yourself?
About a 2.5 minute walk. You can almost see her place from here.
Well, I'll just bring my stuff and I'll figure out when I'm down there. I mean, I can still park at Build It Yourself with a sticker. So.
Yep.
Yeah, I know when it works.
Yep. Just let me know a little ahead of time if you're going to be here.
All right. I'll talk to her and then I'll let you know.
Okay. Great.
All right. Thanks, John.
All right, man. Thanks. See you. See you. Bye.
All right. Bye.